South of Motherwell, the line begins to feel increasingly like a true main-line railway. The tracks stretch ahead through open countryside, while the intercity 225 settles into its stride. There is something very special about high-speed electric rail travel in winter conditions. The train feels effortless, almost floating over the rails while snow swirls across the landscape outside. The West Coast Main Line itself is one of the most important railway routes in Britain, built gradually during the 19th century by several railway companies before becoming part of the London and North Western Railway and later the LMS. It eventually developed into Britain's premier railway artery, linking London, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool and Glasgow. The line north of Carlisle into Scotland was opened by the Caledonian Railway during the late 1840s, creating a direct Anglo-Scottish main line connection. Electrification arrived during the great modernisation schemes of British Rail in the 1970s. The completion of overhead electrification to Glasgow in 1974 dramatically reduced journey times and brought a completely new era of railway travel to Scotland. As our train races through the snowy countryside, it is impossible not to imagine the countless famous trains that have travelled this route over the decades. The Royal Scot, the Midday Scot, the Caledonian Expresses, intercity electric services, PT Trials, Pendolinos. This railway has always represented speed, prestige, and the connection between Scotland and England. Ahead lies one of the most important railway junctions in Scotland, Carstairs. To many ordinary passengers, it may seem like a quiet rural station in the middle of nowhere, but for railway enthusiasts, Carstairs is legendary. This is where the West Coast Main Line divides. One route heads northwest towards Glasgow Central, while the other curves eastwards towards Edinburgh Waverley. For generations, trains were split and joined here, with portions heading for different Scottish cities. In the classic British Rail era, northbound sleeper and express services would arrive from London and be divided at Carstairs. One section continued to Glasgow, while another portion headed for Edinburgh, often involving complex locomotive changes and intricate railway operations. The station therefore became famous among railway enthusiasts for its unusual operations and strategic importance. As we pass through Carstairs Junction itself, the web of tracks and overhead wires spreads out across the snowy landscape. Signal gantries stand silhouetted against the winter sky, while distant freight lines disappear towards England. This is a wonderful place to simply watch trains. The atmosphere feels remote, windswept, and deeply connected to the history of the railway. Our intercity 225 now leaves the main West Coast route and turns east towards Edinburgh. This section of line has a fascinating history of its own. The Glasgow to Edinburgh route via Carstairs originally formed part of the Caledonian Railway's ambitions to connect Scotland's two largest cities with England. The Edinburgh branch opened in 1848, while the Glasgow section followed in 1849. For many years, the route via Carstairs lost out to the faster and more direct line via Falkirk, but electrification in the late 1980s and early 1990s brought the route back into prominence. The electrification of the Edinburgh branch allowed intercity 225 sets from the East Coast Main Line to reach Glasgow Central directly via Carstairs. That decision gave railway enthusiasts something truly unique. East Coast Main Line intercity 225 trains operating into Glasgow Central on what was traditionally West Coast territory. Even today, the route feels unusual and slightly special compared with the more familiar Edinburgh to Glasgow lines. If you did enjoy the video, please help support the channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. It really does help the channel grow and allows us to continue bringing you more railway journeys, railway history, archive footage and classic British rail action from across the UK and beyond. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know your favourite Scottish railway journey or your memories of travelling aboard the Intercity 225. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again very soon for another railway adventure.